Previously, we talked about how building your own setting through simple questions can strengthen your GM muscles. We also touched on drawing inspiration from existing media and then refining that half-baked idea you came up with into something that is more uniquely yours. So today I want to show you my personal sources of inspiration, and one of those being a hobby of mine that was a massive sensation as I was growing up, and the hobby itself is still going pretty strong today, albeit due to other reasons, but that all of the way.
It's time to duel!
Intro hit every single time. If I'm being real with you, I've been a fan of the game for years on years on years. I still collect cards. I play digitally now and then, but nothing compares to the passion I had for it as a kid. How you doing today? I'm Kyle Mykin. I am a game master, a 6th grade mathematics teacher. I am a amateur voice actor, part-time YouTuber, full-time father, and a great guy.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Nostalgia aside, I recently got the idea for this video after I kind of dipped my toe in the water in another TCG that I will not name here because I wish not to be shamed.
Have you no sense of decency, sir?
That card set that dropped really got my brain going and got me, excited to go ahead and start this video and make this video for you guys, because I thought this would be really helpful to follow up with in regards to our last video. So, for those unfamiliar with Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Was created by the late Kazuki Takahashi, who once said he wanted to be a dungeon master, but like many of us, scheduling conflicts got in the way. So instead, he built an entire fantasy card game inspired by that passion. Respect. And the show, the game is called Duel Monsters, which plays like completely differently from what we play in real life. To not to turn this into much of a Yu-Gi-Oh! History lesson, but the game that is Duel Monsters is actually played quite differently from the real world game. So for starters, Duel Monsters itself is a game that was inspired by another game played by the ancient Egyptians using stone tablets that they drew the spirits of monsters out of humans from. Or they drew monster spirits out of the humans and then stored them in those stone tablets and then battled with those monsters. Wild stuff, right? That's already a setup for a really good fantasy RPG class. Obviously, most of you are going to say summoner. I'm thinking more something along the lines of maybe a warlock kind of class, but to each their own. I might make that a future video, actually, so we'll come back to that. But anyway, while digging through some cards recently, I found one that sparked a question. Why does this card exist in this world exactly, outside of its gameplay mechanics, obviously? I started naturally with the card's name. It's a spell card, specifically an equip spell. So immediately I thought this could be easily a magic item. The thing a player could find in a campaign, it does need purpose. It has to have some type of intent behind it. So that's where the card description comes in. Equip only to a normal monster. If it battles a monster with a higher level, the equipped monster gains 500 attack times the difference in levels. Well, now that we got that, we're about to jump into Notion, where I keep all my campaign builder magic. We have transitioned over to Notion. Notion is my go-to for world building, of course. It's also like a really good note-taking app. I've used it for courses and all other sorts of different learning material. I've even be using this, of course, to design a magic item. And to get started, we're gonna make sure we have our name. So we're gonna put our name here. You can format this however way you like, but you should always make sure you have these three things. So you should have a name, a appearance. So that could be whatever it looks like. This can be a picture or a short description. Sorry, I'm forgetting how to type all of a sudden. Not that I have a performance anxiety or anything like that. 1 in 6 men have performance. Shout out men's mental health awareness month. All right, so anyway, so this should be something. Your name, okay, again, should be something simple, something easy to remember. Don't try and make it like Gargafran's magical decanter of the orange soda. Like, don't do that. Something simple, something easy to remember off the top of your head. And it could be flavorful, It doesn't really have to match. It doesn't always have to match. It doesn't have to match the card itself. Just keep that in mind. And what does it do? So purpose, or its or you know, yeah, its purpose. So what is it for? So we thinking not only mechanics. Oh, excuse me. We're thinking not only mechanics, we're also thinking like lore. So we want to make sure we emphasize that, like, it's like more than just lyrics. I mean, more than mechanics. Some lore helps too. And again, it doesn't have to be like a lore that illicitly states what the item does. It could just be a little bit of history. I find that some players are more engaged when their belongings have more personality. Let's put it that way. It could be something even as mundane as a shield. Moving on. Was this item forged by a legendary hero? Does it have any drawbacks? Who wants it? Why? All of these things need to come into consideration when we're making this magic item. So we're going to start with, again, something simple, the name. So the card in question is an equip spell. So we know, again, it's a magic item. And by the picture, it looks like it's an amulet. So we're going to go with an amulet of... Or but yeah, I'll change it up. We'll go at talisman of courage. Yeah, no, talisman of perseverance. I don't know if I like the name. I'll come right back. We'll come back and we'll come up with another name. All right, so we're back, and I've decided to go with the talisman of devotion. The talisman of devotion. It is a small amulet engraved with a emerald, or no, embedded with a green emerald. No, there's a small talisman made of gold. Actually, a small amulet made of gold embedded with a green emerald in its center. There, we got a good name, we got a good name, a simple description for its appearance, so what it looks like and things of that nature. And also, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger for y'all. So I'm going to go full width. I typically like to look at my stuff right in the middle of the page. I hate looking over to the left all the way over to the right. But anyway, moving on. So we've got our appearance, we've got the name, appearance, and now we need to come up with a purpose. So what would I want this to do? Well, off the top of my head, if you asked me, what I would want my magic item to do in this case would be to provide a boost to... So this is going to be the purpose I'm thinking is like a +1. So we're going to give our player a +1 to charisma checks or social checks regarding... Yeah, let's do it this way. +1 to social checks based on one's regarding... Wait, +1 to social checks and skill checks. Yeah, so we're gonna do +1 to social checks and skill checks based on involving or relate. No, there it is. It's related. So our purpose is now going to be a +1 to social checks and skill checks related to religion. Yeah, that's good. Or faith, whatever it may be in your game. And boom, it's that easy. I just made one from a magic card, found the card, came up with a name for it, appearance, purpose. Now we got our first magical item out of the way, and we can go ahead and move on with our day and prepping the rest of our campaign. So this could be a reward. So how do you get it? What kind of now we can get into the nitty gritty, like how rare is this item? So like, is this a rare item? This is something you're gonna have to consult your game master, dungeon master's guide, or your GM handbook, dungeon master handbook, whatever it is in your system. But this is going to be something to determine how rare it is, meaning how common or how likely you are to find this on the average individual. And if I'm being honest with you, in my particular world where there are many of priests and other individuals about, I think it would not be unlikely to find a talisman of devotion on, let's say, a failed acolyte or anything of that nature, or anyone else of that nature or of the religious faith. So I think that this actually fits in terms of rarity, as far as it being an uncommon item. Again, when you're thinking of the rarities, you need to consider the average individual. So the average individual who comes to mind, and then you need to understand that how likely is this average individual going to have this item. And you could actually apply that logic when you're trying to determine your treasure drops and other things of that nature. If you're talking about a goblin, goblins are hoarders, so the likelihood of them having shinier objects, especially when it comes to currency, it makes actually more sense when you think about it. So that's it for this video. I didn't really have much beyond this. I just want to let you guys know that what I've been showing you today, this is all system agnostic. This means you can adapt this process for pretty much like any tabletop RPG that you're running. That includes D&D 5e, whether it's 2014, 2016, all the past D&D iterations, the Pathfinder system, the Cypher system, or if you're doing your own RPG homebrew game at home. I appreciate you for watching this video. I think you're probably more skilled than I am, but I'm also like very grateful for you to even come in and check out this video. But like I said, the most important thing to remember is when you're using these ideas and you are drawing inspiration from these different sources, you have to lock down the idea. That means you're gonna have to drill down, take some time to really go over your thoughts. Ask those questions. Remember, you want to ask the very important ones. So like, if you're making a magic item, what does it look like? What is its name? What purpose does it serve? Not just to the game, but to the world around us. So not only is this a talisman of devotion, meaning it is something gifted, or it is typically gifted. Yeah, so we're gonna go with it. So the lore behind the talisman of devotion is it is an accessory bestowed to those who have displayed their efforts, who have displayed noble effort to the cause of their church or organization or other religious organization. Now I'm going to flesh that out. I'm going to probably like drill that down a little bit further than that, but as of now, that's what I got. So our magic item we came up with today was based on the Amulet of Ambition. This became the Talisman of Devotion by name. In appearance, it is a small amulet made of gold embedded with a green emerald in its center. The purpose is to provide a +1 to social checks and skill checks related to religion or faith. And its rarity is pretty uncommon to find. You're most likely, because it's very uncommon to find priests and other whatnots in my world. However you want to use it in your world is up to you. But it's an accessory bestowed to those who have displayed noble effort to the cause of their church or other religious organization. Meaning, they don't just give this out to anybody. You have to be a proven member of your faith. So with that being said, like I said, I have nothing else to give. Pretty much we're stalling for time. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, if you have any questions, or if you're curious or want to see more videos of me homebrewing items based on other sources of inspiration, feel free to drop a like, leave a comment. Deuces.
I can't remember when I've had a more pleasant day.
Until we meet again!